So as you guys probably already know by now, Operation Grand Heist is going live on PS4 on the 19th, aka tomorrow, and going live on Xbox the week after. And we got a trailer for it today. I put out a video earlier today about the new specialist coming in this operation, Outrider, but today in this video we are going to be talking about all of the new locations in Blackout. Now the reason why I have some early gameplay of this is because Activision actually flew me down to Treyarch, where I got to play all of the new maps, so the 2 multiplayer maps, the new Blackout locations, and on top of that the new characters, new weapons, and that kind of stuff a little bit early, so that I was able to bring you some gameplay early. So that's how I have this today. So Activision and Treyarch, thank you for that. But as you guys know, as far as the Blackout map went, we made a lot of predictions as to what was coming to the map. So some of the predictions we made were absolutely right. For example, Outlaw and Buried are 100% in the new Blackout map, but there's also a bunch of new locations. My theory that there was going to be a train coming to the map did not come true. However, in all of those locations we previously looked at, there is new buildings, new areas, and today we are going to look at absolutely all of them, and I'm going to show you everything that changed on the entire Blackout map. So first of all, let's start out with that big X on the map. This is in Sector G7 and G8, and this is of course the biggest new area. It is known as Ghost Town on the new Blackout map, and it is of course a mix between Outlaw and Buried. Now as far as what used to be there on the old Blackout map, this was simply a desert. There was a few small buildings here or there, but now it is completely different. There's an old-timey western town that is of course a remake of the Black Ops 2 map Standoff, or on top of that a remake of Outlaw from Black Ops 3, and it's extremely similar to what we saw in that game. A lot of the buildings are exactly the same, just a little bit more disheveled, and the entire town is actually there. Now off to the other side of the map, there's a couple of holes in the ground and a couple different ways that you can go underground, and under there is the zombies map Buried. Now, we did ask when we were there whether or not zombies were going to be spawning at these locations, and they didn't give us an answer. So it's possible, and in fact, I think it's likely that at Buried at least there will be zombies, but as of right now, that's all the information I have. Now, as far as the remakes of these areas, it's absolutely incredible. They look exactly the same as they did, and the one that I was really impressed with was Buried. The underground area looks really similar to how the zombies map did, and I think they did an incredibly good job with these two areas. Now, if you have any questions that I didn't cover in this video about the new Blackout map, maybe about Outrider or the new weapons, and I didn't cover them in the videos and you want to ask me some questions, a great way to do so is actually later tonight over on Twitch. I'm going to be doing kind of like a Q&A live stream and an open lobby all at the same time in Black Ops 4. So if you have any questions about Operation Grand Heist, or you just want to play some Black Ops 4 with me, you can check out the first link down in the description. It'll take you to my Twitch, and that'll be going on somewhere between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time later tonight. So hopefully I see you there. But the next area we're looking at is in Section C5 of the map. So what was there before was basically 4 buildings, 2 2-story buildings and 2 1-story buildings, and now it is completely changed from these 4 buildings to almost like a little strip mall. There's a whole extra street between the 2 sets of buildings, and on the other side of the parking lot or street, whatever in the middle, there are 4 brand new buildings that weren't there before. So quite a large change to this area. The next area we got is C3 on the map, and this is what used to be the apartment buildings, and what used to be here in the old map was 3 apartment buildings on either side of the road. It is really similar now. The only difference is at the end of the apartment buildings, there is 1 extra apartment building on either side of the road. So instead of 3 and 3, it is now 4 and 4. It was really hard to notice looking at this. It almost looks exactly the same. There's just an extra building there on either side. After this, we go up to the top of the map to Section C1, C2 area, where there only used to be a gas station here. The gas station, and that was it. Now, they have added in 3 new buildings on the opposite side of the road. And one of the buildings is a completely new building that's never been in Blackout before, which is like a little taco shack that is new, and I believe it's actually in a couple of areas in the new map. The next thing we're looking at is in Section E6. So this is what the old area looked like. There was just kind of buildings here or there, and essentially what they changed going into the new map is just added in extra buildings throughout this area to make it look a little bit more full. For example, that building with the orange roof off to the right there was new. That little convenience store off to the left and 2-story building off to the right are all brand new. Like I said, it's just more full. They added in more buildings along the street to almost make it look more like a little town. But not all changes they made were really big. In section D6, there's this little shed here, and all they did is add one other small shed to this area. That's it. But a bigger change happened in E5, where there used to be just 2 portables in a small building that kind of turned into a small town of these portables and small buildings. There's much more buildings here now. It's all, once again, almost like a little town in this area where there's going to be a ton more loot than there used to be. After this, we have D4. This is just behind firing range, where there used to just be a gas station and a 2-story red building. However, now they once again built it out and made a much larger area of it, kind of more of a storefront than it was before, and just many more buildings here than there used to be. And I think the thing to stress here is just how much more loot is going to be on the entire map, simply because of how much more buildings are there. And I think the reason why they're doing this is because when people rotate in mid-game, some people find it hard at the end if they're playing aggressive to find a lot of healing, and now this way, if you get in a gunfight, there's going to be a ton of small buildings that you can loot closer to the end game with loot in them still, and this area is a perfect example of that. After this, we've got section D2. This was an area of the map that had a lot of those orangey browny houses all together, and simply all they did to this to expand on it is put more of those houses there. So once again, just more loot in this area because there's more houses. This next area is probably my favorite little thing they added on the map. This is in sector G1, and the reason why I say this is because it's actually quite big. There was nothing here before, no buildings, nothing. Now it's a little town. There's a fence there, there's houses, actually a bunch of houses, even a small gazebo in the area, and it really looks like they're trying to build up this area so that when the zone ends there, there's going to be kind of more places to hide or get loot close to the end. The next one is in section F or G3. It's right by Grandma's house there. There is 2 new little white buildings added there. This is a relatively small one compared to the other things that we've looked at. The next one here is actually one of the first leaks that we found about the map changing, and it is in G5 here. Now, this used to be just one white house, a couple of these little brown houses. Now, that white house is still there, but the brown houses have multiplied exponentially. There's many, many more houses there to a huge extent. After this, in section F6, we used to have like a little shopping complex with 3 different buildings. This is also once again growing in the new map. It now has 6 bigger buildings and then 2 or 3 smaller buildings, which is absolutely insane. This is now like a really viable area to drop and come out with some pretty decent loot. That's how big this is. After this, we have section E8, which just used to be 3 brown trailers. Now it's over 6 different trailers and a couple other small buildings there as well, which is essentially doubled in size. After this, in section D8, a whole new area was added in. Before, this was just kind of a big open field with a few trees. Now it's an entire area with a bunch of small little buildings. Definitely an area that's now big enough that you can drop there and get enough loot to at least loot for 1 or 2 people, which is kind of cool to have that big of a new area. And last but not least, we've got section E5 once again. There was a small little town here before with a couple of houses and buildings that is kind of once again multiplied, just adding a couple more buildings here and there. You can clearly see the difference here. But that's it, guys. Those are all of the new locations in Blackout. The one other thing that they are adding with this update to Blackout is Prestiges. Prestiges, I believe, are officially coming out tomorrow for Blackout, and these are all the Prestige icons that you're seeing here on screen. So essentially, it works the same way as multiplayer. You level up all the way to level 80, and then after that, you Prestige to the next Prestige. The one thing that I will say is that they are changing the way merits work in Blackout. Instead of getting 10 merits per kill, you get 50. For coming top 5, you get 500 merits, and for winning, you get 1,000 merits. So it's going to be a lot faster to level up in Blackout than it previously was, especially for the good players. You are going to be able to prestige and get eventually to that master prestige, as you can see on screen here. Also, in other Blackout news, they had a trailer for the new event that came out today, and in one frame of the trailer, they showed this. As you can see, it's people dropping in at night. So it's kind of assumed that they're going to be doing a Blackout event that the map is going to change to nighttime, which is going to be absolutely insane and look completely different than before. So I look forward to see what they're doing with that, whether it's going to be a time-changing map kind of like Fortnite does, or whether it's going to be you're able to play at night, you're able to play during the day. I don't really know. If you have any theories, feel free to let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know what you think of the map changes. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about it. Also, this video took a ton of effort to edit together and get all the clips from the before map and after map. So if you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel and like what you see, the best way to stay updated on all my content is to hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications turned on. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.